Hello everyone, my name is Tisra and welcome back to our Satsuma campaign in Fall to Samurai, if you hadn't guessed. So, Hiroshima, they didn't go on the offensive. I think that was quite a smart idea of them. So, I really need to know what kind of troops do they actually have here? Do they have any at all, really? Because if they do, then allowing these guys to actually go onto their soil, that might be a very bad idea. But actually, I think I have enough firepower for that to be possible. Also, we have, I would say 4 turns until winter arrives, so hopefully we could just siege these guys out very quickly. And this is their only province, as far as I'm aware. So that shouldn't be a big issue. Oh. We didn't have too much movement points there, apparently. Why is that? We like barely moved. And now we're gonna get there right as winter arrives. Just about. Oh well. Let's see if we can recruit some line infantry here. We can't. We can recruit artillery here. Eventually maybe some better artillery as well. That'd be quite nice. But yeah, as it stands right now, we can't really do too much. We'll have to recruit down here, I think. Yeah, we have our barracks down here. That will take way too much time to actually get up there. I don't know. How far out is the warrior? 3 turns, okay. So maybe recruit a few troops here. Expeditionary force, that's quite nice infantry. I have these guys be transport with the warrior. That seems like a fine idea. Also, let's pump out some line infantry, and that's it for capacity that turn. Also, we are building up a bit of a reserve here. That's quite nice. And I will be putting that to use. I don't know where exactly just yet, but it will definitely be used pretty shortly. Here we go, that's your standard army. And of course you have a garrison army that shouldn't be too strong at this point, seeing that we have barely started this campaign. Just checking everything is where I think they are. Because there has been a few days since I actually played this last time. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So yeah, we're getting some nice infantry. And I think 2 waves should be about it. They might actually come way too late to be of any use here. But as I see it right now, those forces will probably be used as a helper when it comes to sieging in winter. They still want a trade agreement. They have dropped the idea of a military alliance. But they still want me to pay 7,100 koku. And that's not happening. There we go, more ludicrous offers. I would like a trade agreement with Tosha, but not a military alliance, and definitely not for 4,000 koku. Okay, they retreated back into their castle. Let's see, still 1 turn until we get the ship that we're after. Actually, we could just go and pick him up with this Kaijamaru. Let's do that, actually. Bring in the reinforcements from all the way up there. Also, something that is very special with the Expeditionary Force is that apparently, well, not apparently, I actually know that for a fact, I've checked, the Expeditionary Force do not suffer winter attrition. So, I do have that, but I don't have too much of that unit. So yeah, I will definitely suffer attrition now that winter is going to come around in 2 turns, I think. So yeah, we'll definitely still suffer a bit of attrition. Also, as I said, we have quite a bit of income right now. So I think I would use that to build a stronger navy at this point. There we go, and invest another point there. And with 4 of those ships, this ship and the warrior class ironclad, I think we have a pretty decent navy. That should last a while, until we start upgrading all the armor plating. Also, what are we doing when it comes to clan development? Oh yeah, we did finish something and I just didn't click on something else, so we're gonna get this. That wasn't really the intention, but we're gonna get it. Actually, I don't really know what to go for next. I don't think we need any... We are in desperate need of any more honor. Okay, let's take a look here. So it really depends on what we want, and right now I want a barracks. Well, I want that. I also want naval shells, so when the naval battles start happening, we definitely have a bit of firepower. And I want some armor, which will definitely come in handy. So many choices. If I go for this, it will take 14 turns until I actually get there. 14 turns there as well. I want this thing, but that only gives me the Artillery Academy. It will allow me to get the modern army, but that's quite far down the line. Army War College, that's the end of the line when it comes to that tree. But before that, I would need to build this modern rifle. Or recruit, not recruit even. Research the modern rifles. I don't know, we can get some Imperial Pioneers, I guess. And I'm sure there are more units there. I think you also get the Imperial Infantry. That's quite decent. And when you upgrade that again, you get the Imperial Guard Infantry. And that's quite awesome units. Then again, things like this. That gives you more income. And this, which pretty much does the same thing. Also static defense like this, which can give a city, the Matchlock Towers. That's quite decent as well. Yeah, let's go for the navy stuff, because we're gonna need that eventually, so I think that's actually a pretty good idea. So yeah, drop the load, and go on to the siege. So, surprisingly enough, if we had to attack right away, we would probably lose. Surprise, surprise. But if we drag them out, then I would say we definitely have an advantage. Not necessarily when it comes to artillery, but definitely when it comes to infantry. So, we'll continue that siege, and if they do not attack right away, we'll get quite a lot of juicy reinforcements. Anyway, we finally have our warrior. So let's put her to good use. 42 guns. Unparalleled in Full Samurai. Anything else we need? I don't think so. Not for now. But are we gonna see a battle? Won't even let me take a sip of water until they answer that question. Yes, we are gonna see a battle. So let's go to the battlefield and find out if we are victorious. Quite long loading screen this. I usually had quite quick loading screens for the Samurai. Well, that wasn't too long a loading screen, I guess. Okay, so I would of course like to use their ability to hide anywhere, but I don't really have anything to hide in. Like maybe... Nope, that's outside the red line. That's not gonna work. Yeah, I'll just have to use them as normal cavalry, I guess. Yep, they can't hide anywhere. Oh well. So, we are the ones defending. We have to keep that in mind. Let's see, 550, 550, and 750, so that gun right there, that's the main advantage we do have. And as we found out in the Josiah campaign, it can be absolutely deadly if used correctly. And left alone for that matter. Let's have it slightly more forward, so we are pretty much guaranteed to be in range of the units with this guy. And that should allow us to drag them towards us, and not the other way around. But yeah, it really depends on how the range is for the enemy artillery, which I'm not entirely sure about. Also, do the standard things, like that. And this. And with that, we should be good.
Today, sir, we defend.
Actually, are you in range? Yes, you definitely are in range. But can any of you fire? A bit hard to tell, but I don't think the light gun should be able to do that. And that's actually... yeah, that's what they got, except for the wooden artillery. Which I'm not really too concerned about. Also, I might be standing in the way of this artillery piece, not allowing them to fire. Because they definitely should be in range. Let's push forward slightly. Yep. You definitely are in range, so I don't know what's happening. I guess I'll give you clear targets. Oh, here we go. Now I am in range of the enemy artillery. But apparently very barely. Which should mean that we can just do like this. And just hope that we're not hit in the back by the 20-pounders. And we should be good. Okay, we killed a lot of men. And that angered them slightly. I have no idea how. So yeah, now they are getting into a range of my guns, and not the other way around. Even though I am apparently slightly in their range with these guys. Spot a weak unit. Hopefully they will be able to hold out. And there we go. Our howitzers has opened fire. Oh yeah, I'm doing extreme amount of damage early on. And seeing that you, 1, are inferior in quality, and 2, you have about the same amount of men as me when the battle started, I do believe we have a very solid chance of winning this. And to be fair, I wouldn't have entered this battle that confidently if I didn't expect to win. I also really like the almost like Prussian blue color of the infantry. That's quite nice. Oh, there we go. The light guns are evidently in range. Also, did I? No, I didn't. Let's fix that.
in mortal peril, sir.
Well, he hasn't been hit yet. Yeah, of course, enable Gambate, so actually the artillery fires faster. And some of the line infantry. I would say that would be a very good idea. So apparently, one of my guns just disappeared. That was weird. That's in fact very weird. Okay, the enemy cavalry wants to have a word to say. And unless I'm careful, they might be able to break through here. And apparently they have been able to break through, so let's try to intervene. Also, you guys, you are in range, but you're not firing.
Good news, sir. The enemy general is dead.
That's something. But that's one of like 5 generals. Like the entire freaking family coming to fight here. So I don't know if that was the like actual general or just one of them. Yep, I'm still killing loads more units than they are killing off mine. Actually, we could just go here. And easily take out the enemy artillery. If I just avoid these guys, which are pretty much the only unit here. Except for maybe the cavalry, which by this point seems to be non-existent. Which is capable of taking me out.
Good news, sir. The enemy general is dead.
There we go, another one of them dead. That's indeed quite nice. Spear Levy, you can take a rest, along with the spear, or the Yarikachi? Yes, Yarikachi.
Your victory is close, sir.
And by now, pretty much everything has broken. Shattered completely. And that's very nice. I just want to make sure to take out the enemy artillery, and we'll end the battle when we have done so. But of course, we can now just fast forward and get it over with. Apparently these guys haven't routed yet. Well, they have routed, but for some reason they still fired. So that was slightly weird. Okay, we have not that much time to spare before these guys reach the red line as well, so you guys, you're allowed to live. And as far as I'm aware, like, these guys will kinda be auto-resolved, kinda, when I do this. Hopefully that is the case. That's just what I've heard. Well, that's probably the case as well. And I don't really know if I would have been able to get more kills if I did it personally. I really have no idea. I just want to make sure that certain units do not come back. Because units like artillery, that's pretty much the only unit I'm really fearing. And I guess sharpshooters, but they usually are silly enough to come into my range or just stand there when I try to get my units into range in order to actually hurt them. So we did take out the majority of the army, and even before winter arrived. And here it comes. But no worries. We'll get here with our reinforcements and easily take them out. And, as I said, that was their only province. And now it's gone. Congratulations. How did you feel on the declaration of war towards me? Was it smart? Was it as smart as it seemed to be, like, I don't know, 7 turns ago? I don't think so. Also, like 2 turns, and then we'll get, yes, 2 turns, and then we'll get 3, I believe, Kaijamaru, including the one we already had.
That's your command.
And with this in the fleet, we have really nothing to fear that much when it comes to naval fights at this point. Only thing we really have to fear is just pure number of enemy units, potentially. And like enemy stacks that could just raid and bombard all over the place. And that's bloody annoying, like one single ship doing massive economic damage. Oh, you have no idea. Well, we have an idea if you actually watch the Josiah playthrough, because, well, that happened. Quite a lot. But thankfully, it's a lot easier to block this port from being raided and bombarded with just sticking a ship right here, rather than, you know, defending this port from being blockaded and raided. Anyway, what does the enemy clans, or the other clans, well, if I'm going to be a Republican, I guess every clan is an enemy clan, but at this point, we could say other clans, what do they think of me? I just want to see territorial expansion minus 11. So not that bad, actually. Let's see what someone a bit more closer to us. Saga. What do you think? You're still very friendly, but that's mainly because we have the same allegiance. Territorial expansion minus 11. So not that bad yet. And that's quite nice to see, actually. Let's join up the Navy. And when we have all of them recruited, we'll send them here, so they are in bombardment range of Ferrado. Or Heesen. I can't remember the name of the castle town. But apparently it should be the same as, okay? Heesen, probably. So yeah, how many do I need to keep control here? That will give me 4. Okay. About 50-50. That's quite nice. Daimyo Honor. Devastation will go away. This will go away eventually. Non-clan legion is actually predicted to rise. Interestingly enough. Could compensate for that by building this. That will also help me when I eventually push forward into these regions. So yeah, that seemed like a worthwhile investment. This is not really a resource, but definitely it gives me an income boost, even if it isn't a trade resource. So I just want to take a look here. 83, 62, 62% and 83%. So it doesn't really make any sense to upgrade anything we have at the moment. Except for like this, which isn't, to be fair, isn't really that big. I don't know. So we have a few targets. We have Hirado, which actually has 2 regions. That's interesting. We have Fukue, which only has 1, I believe, and well, this is our vassal, so they're not going to always be my vassal if I go Republican. They're also going to break with me, which is slightly annoying, seeing that they control this trade route pretty much. But yeah, that will be one of our first targets when we actually get there. But yeah, I think our next target should be Hirado. And we'll grab the coal first, and then we'll go for the island. Actually, let's take a look. Which allies do they have? And do we really have to worry about them? Saga. Well, I plan on taking over that region anyway, so no. It's not a huge deal. Just in case, let's take a look at Saga. You have 1 region as well. So yeah, I see no problems there. We just have to get Nagato under control, and we can just start our conquest. Well, I guess continue our conquest. Finish our conquest of that island, which I can't remember the name of right now. But actually, the map will help me.
When you consider my offer, do not consider only the blossom. Look to the whole tree.
That will take at least 10 turns to pay for itself, I think. Oh well, I'm exporting quite a lot, and well, it might actually take a few a few fewer turns than that. I'm exporting quite a lot, and I'm not exporting all of it, so I have quite a lot of potential to export. They are exporting copper, and no, they are exporting iron and import copper. Who are your enemies? I don't think that is a neighboring. Wait a minute, that might be the starting neighboring clan, and we haven't taken them out yet. Interesting. Anyway, we'll just have to gamble. Those are one of the few guys who actually want to trade with me. Annoying, but that's the case. There we go. New general? Do we really need that? Okay, let's enlist him and just have him there. Like, just in case. Let's take a look at actually how many family members we have. We have our son and heir. And we have 2 generals. That's a new one. That unfortunately pushed this guy down to steadfast, which is still quite good. It's one step from the maximum. But for some reason, you have the same loyalty. Well, I guess my honor hasn't been strong enough. Yeah, I could still use with a bit of honor, and I don't get honor from establishing vassals because I know that vassal would just fall apart the instant I try to become imperial. Not imperial, but republican. I do know, of course I go to the wrong screen again. I do know that we have another, actually 2, no, just 1, way to increase that loyalty. We could go for this, and then down to this. That will increase the loyalty, and that will increase the loyalty and the honor. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, how does it look? 5, okay. You might have to build a fortress here. Just because of the added repression. Because I want to move now. So, let's leave the things we don't really care about. Things like that. Melee units, you are decent, but I don't really use melee units that much. Let's have not all of you join. Let's have most of you join. And that should give me 3, which I can leave behind. There we go, take the most damaged ones and let you stay behind. And that actually made everything neutral. That's quite nice. So yeah, we can just load up and get ready to conquest. So that's quite nice. When we attack Hirado, Saga will enter, and with that we have taken control over all of... And I'm cheating a bit here, and where is it? Should be a nameplate, which I might have... yes, I've gone over. And that was part of the Fog of War, I think. Yes. Like, part of the Fog of War is like kind of a map, and part of that map actually shows you some names. And apparently I have, yes, it should be up here, and I've already been there. So I screwed myself there. You see, like, you see Sado right here, and it's partially gone because I've been close to Sado already. Oh well, and now I look like a fool, don't I? Oh well, I guess that's par for the course for me. But yeah, that'll be hopefully done in the next part, at least begun in the next part. So, I hope you enjoyed this part. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did. And, as always, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.